Welcome, everybody. This is the Rotary Eclub of Silicon Valley, and every week we try to bring you stories that will inspire you to see new possibilities for helping others locally, globally, and digitally. The Rotary Eclub of Silicon Valley is part of an international organization called Rotary, Rotary International, 1.2 million members in 36,000 clubs around the world. We hope that if you are someone who is being introduced to Rotary for the first time, you might take a look at rotary.org and see what you find. And if you are really interested in our asynchronous online little club that we have, make sure to go to rotary.cool to learn more about us. Our speaker this week is Jose Bailan and team from the eRYLA International. And the International eRYLA program is one that is starting its third year. It is one that has been based in Europe, largely focused on young people 15 to 30, and they have done a tremendous job of making it possible for people to begin learning about leadership possibilities and service possibilities for their future via the work that they do. With that, I'd like to hand it over to Jose as our presenter. Jose, thank you so much for agreeing to take time. We are excited to have you here with us today.
Thank you very much, Ruston. Thank you to you. Thanks to you and to the eClub of Silicon Valley. Let me talk a little bit. What I would like to do today is first to start with the background of the eRYLA, how we started, what we had in the previous editions, and then I will explain the Spanish part of the eRYLA, and then I would like to ask Gregor and Marilor to talk about and Martina too, to talk about the areas, about the speakers, and the subjects. Okay, let me start. I have a very short presentation. I hope I have time enough to, it's just about 10 slides, so it's not going to be, let me go to the presentation. Okay, and then okay. So this International eRYLA, this is the third edition. The first edition, we started in December 2019. The Eclub of the Mediterráneo. I was the president of the Eclub at this time. And then we had an idea to organize an international eRYLA organized by Eclubs from several countries, from countries around the world in their languages. And then the idea was to bring people from different countries, different cultures together, to bring people, take advantage of the fact that we are Eclubs, that we are online, and we don't have any physical constraints. And then to have people from people and speakers from the US, from Europe, from India, from everybody, everywhere, almost everywhere together, in a single event. The first eRYLA was organized. We always had the eRYLAs the first weekend of March, the first and the second and this third edition. Why? Because we found in the first edition that this was the time that was better for most young people, because at that time most people had finished the exams in Spain. Usually exams are in February, probably in other countries. So this is the best time to have an event like this. So the first eRYLA was organized by Rotary Club of the Mediterráneo, Spain, and Rotary Club Paris International by Marilor. Marilor was the president of the Eclub of Paris International at that time, and then we got together and we organized an eRYLA. That was the first edition. As it was the first time, it was a bit chaotic, but it ended up much better than we expected. Some of us, at least. It ended up with a participation of a lot of people, with good conferences. It was quite interesting. The subject of the first eRYLA was leadership and ethics. And we had seminars in 3 languages: English, Spanish, and French. Notice that from the very beginning, we had English in language talks, because we wanted attendees from all over the world, not just from Spanish and French speaking countries. That is what we wanted, was a truly international eRYLA. And to have a truly international eRYLA, we need to have speakers in English, because English is the most important, basically the only relevant international language. So we wanted to have English language talks. And then what we did was most of the English language talks were done by people who speak English from Spain, from Poland, I remember, from Europe, no? And this was a bit not the best way, not the best solution, because the best solution would be to have English language speaker talks from people who are native speakers. No? This is something that we're going to get this year. The program of the first eRYLA included sessions on issues such as digital marketing, traveling around the world, was done by Esteban, who is here now, or how to achieve financial independence, that was done by me. So we've had some interesting talks, interesting because the people who attended the seminars told us that they were quite interesting, no, for them. They were our public is not only we are aimed to young people, no, mostly to people from 15 to 30 years old, no, 15 to 30. But we had also more adult people from our age. No, the eRYLA is open to everybody. No, everybody who wants to learn, because some of the issues we teach in these eRYLAs, all the people don't know even don't know. So that's the good thing to have this eRYLA, no? That everybody could get in an inscription on the eRYLA. So the first edition was a success in the sense that we had more than 400 inscriptions for more than 30 countries. It was success because we for some issues we started to make it public and to make the mailing and everything just 1 month before the eRYLA started. And in this month we got more than 400 people to fill the inscription form from this eRYLA. The only problem was that in this first edition, the eRYLA was completely free. No? The inscription was completely free. And so many people filled the inscription, but then they didn't attend to the meeting. So we took the decision in the second eRYLA to put a small fee, just to make sure that at least people value what the eRYLA is, the work involved in the eRYLA, and people are who get the inscription, they are going to attend the meetings. No? But this is in the second eRYLA. For the organization of the second eRYLA, we added the Rotary Eclub of Köln. So we had also German language conferences. So we had in this second edition last year, we had German, English, Spanish, and French sessions. The main issue was leadership in a digitalized world. The main subject in this second eRYLA, and the idea was to focus. The second eRYLA was in March last year. We had almost 1 year after the COVID pandemic, and then what we had to focus. We wanted to focus is what changes are happening now in the global economy. Because of the COVID pandemic, you know, because we had many changes in the behavior of how people buy now. People buy more online. People now have use more credit cards in Europe, or at least in Spain. Credit cards were relatively unusual before the pandemic. Now they are much more common, much more spread. So we had many changes in the way the world is working now, with regard with the world before the pandemic. No? So we had the focus on these areas. No? What changes, and then we had also in this second eRYLA, we had a very important thing that was the intervention of the president of Rotary International. This was very important because this was like the president of Rotary International, which is, as you said before, an organization of 1.2 million people, to be in our event was very important. It was like a way to discriminate us from many other eRYLAs, for many other sessions like this, because we had the president endorsing our eRYLA. No? So this was a very important thing. This was something that we are going to try to do also in this new edition. We're going to try, and actually we got right now we have the intervention of the president of Rotary International, also assured that he's going to participate also in the third eRYLA. No? In the second eRYLA, we had nearly three inscriptions. they were less than the 400 in the first edition, but as you remember, in the first edition, the inscriptions were completely free. They were only just to fill up one form, and that was all. No? Right now, we are asking, we asked in the second, and also in the third edition, we are asking for a small inscription fee, which is $12 of €10. And this inscription fee is fully donated to the Rotary Foundation. That is, the cost of doing the eRYLA is zero. This is a big advantage with normal RYLAs. RYLAs, usual land organized by land clubs. These RYLAs used to be expensive, sometimes very expensive, and people pay. They have a high cost, no? And this cost is either paid by the clubs, either paid by the districts, but or the people who get or the attendees, no. But the fact is that they are costly, no. For in our case, the eRYLA is has zero cost. Why has? Because everybody who is giving the conferences don't get paid. Nobody gets any salary, any fees, and nobody gets paid. Even the Zoom Zoom inscription, we have a Zoom for 500 people during these 3 days. It's been donated by one company, German company, which is the company of one of the Rotaracts of the German Eclub. So it's completely free. That is, for us, has zero cost. And the thing is that we only get this small inscription first to help the Rotary Foundation, but also very important is to discriminate and to have inscription only from people who really wanted to attend the sessions. No? And this was actually what happened last year. If we look at the sessions last year, we had more people than in the previous year. We had, even if we had less inscription, we had more people. We had some sessions with more than 200 people in the same session. No? So it was a success in this respect. No? And now we have the third international eRYLA. In this session, in this edition of the eRYLA, as you know, we have the Eclub of Silicon Valley as co-organizer. This is your club. And this is the first time we have a non-European Eclub on board on this for this international eRYLA. And this is something that is very important for us, because this is going to make this eRYLA a truly global eRYLA. I think that after having the American Eclub, probably the next step just to complete is to have an Asian Eclub also in the eRYLA, probably from India. The thing is that we don't have right now. We don't have a contact with enough contact with an Asian Eclub to have it on board, no? Because we need to have some reliable clubs, people who are reliable to be on board to organize the eRYLA. But I think that probably for the next editions, we should think probably of an Asian Eclub, and that way we can cover Europe, America, Asia, which are the three main continents in which Rotary International is involved. The subject of the third international eRYLA is building bridge. The idea is to help young people, to give them advice, specific advice, useful advice on the skills needed to be in today's labor market. No? What they need to do to be successful, to get good jobs, to be really successful, and to progress in the labor market. How to progress professionally. And the idea is building bridge, because the idea is that we are more veteran, and we are going to try to give this advice from experts. We are going to bring this advice to the young people. I'm going to focus now on the Spanish sessions, because these are the ones that I organize myself, or I try to organize. And then I will ask Marilor, Gregor, and Martina to talk about the sessions of the speakers. No? The Spanish sessions are going to be 5 sessions. We are going to have a session on soft skills that are needed for long-term success in the labor market. What are the skills needed for success in the labor market? We are going to have also another session on digital transformation on the new economy, new trends from companies and consumers. We're going to have also another session on peace centers and fellowship of Rotary International. This session is important for us because in Spain, our rules are that if we want to organize a eRYLA or an eRYLA, we have to have at least one session to talk about Rotary International. It's not just going to talk about other things. We need to have a session on Rotary International. And in previous year and in this year, we already had this session on peace centers and the fellowships and peace fellowships of Rotary International, because we have a very good expert, a former governor of the district, a person who was in charge of the Rotary Foundation of the district for many years, and he's an expert on getting peace fellowships in our district. He got several of them. No? So he's going to be our presenter this year. We are also going to have a session on labor market positioning, how to position yourself in the labor market to be successful, to get a job, to get some to progress in the labor market. And also, finally, we are going to have another session on female leadership. The idea is how to take advantage. There are some, I read a little bit of the literature, and most of the literature say that there is some skills that are more specifically for women, more common in women than in men. For instance, women give more attention, for instance, to communication, all these kind of skills. So we are going to have a session on how to take advantage of those skills that, according to many studies, and according also to common sense, we see it every day. Women have an advantage, a comparative advantage compared with men. So we are going to have a session on this. And finally, we're going to have also an international workshop on new values in business. We're going to have speakers from Germany, from Spain. From Spain, we're going to have Esteban, who is here now, from France, and from the USA. And these speakers, they are experts in the labor market in their own countries, in the corporate culture of the countries, and they are going to focus on the similarities and differences of the new values in the business cultures in these 4 countries. For instance, probably in some countries they give more importance to some areas than in others. So we are going to have this kind of it's going to be like a colloquial conference. We're going to have these 4 people talking about the business culture in their countries. So right now I'm going to ask Marie-Laure to talk about the conferences in the French-speaking bloc. Marie-Laure, please.
Mm-hmm. Hello everyone. I don't know if you can see, I have the Eiffel Tower here. So I'm in Paris right now. I'm the charter president of the Eclub of Paris, and before that I was the charter president of Paris Eiffel Tower Club, Rotary Club, so that's why I'm wearing it. So for the French part, we will also have soft skills and new values for companies. So that's the same for all of us. And then we will have a workshop of how to write your LinkedIn profile, because young people in France, they don't use LinkedIn as they should. So we will have a workshop on that. We will also have a workshop on how to use social medias and LinkedIn and so on to find a first job. So that's very important. A headhunter will do this workshop. We will also have a leadership for women, as Jose has already said. And that's it. Yep. Very short. You asked me very short, so that's very short.
Okay, Gregor, please.
Yeah, thank you. So good evening, everyone. Let me just quickly introduce myself. I'm Gregor, the immediate past president of Rotary Eclub Cologne. Just some specifics about our club. We are one of 3 peace builder clubs in Germany and very much involved in this area. As Jose already said, we are on this program for the 2nd time. Which are the characteristics? We organized our program at the seminar on equal terms with Rotaractors, because for us the youth is very important, not only as participants in the seminar, but also in organizing the seminar. far as our topics are concerned, we have the pleasure that Our Lady Governor is going to make the opening remarks. She will very much focus on the activities of the district in youth work. And we will start with a keynote speech by one of a former CEO of a large German energy company, who also published a book on this topic with our former Minister of Defense. We will have a topic, female and fierce, a little bit like Jose said. Why do women need their own networks? Then we will focus on in how far top athletes can be a motivator for young people with regard to the workforce. We will also have a presentation on the challenges of the climate change, which we think is also very important when we look at the seventh pillar of Rotary. And last but not least, we also want to open the views on security issues as far as the development in space is concerned. The concept is, just to conclude on that, is a 20-minute presentation, which will be followed by a Q&A session. And if I may add to what Jose was saying about this part on Saturday evening with the 4 presentators from 4 different countries that will be moderated. So it's going to be very interactive between the speakers and the participants. And thank you again for the opportunity to run you quickly through the German part of the program. It's a pleasure to be part of it.
Yes, Martina, the US part.
Hi, everybody. Yes, I was also on board since eRYLA #1, because actually the eRYLA started because we wanted to do an English-speaking eRYLA here in the zone, and then it developed into being an eRYLA and then an international eRYLA. But talking about the speakers, as Rushton was actually doing all the work to find the speakers, I would like to pass the word to him. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Martina, and thank you everyone for joining us for the program. I'm going to tell you a little bit about our speakers for the English strand. We have Mitty Chang talking about launching your own future. We have Sarah Tuberty, disability is a positive word. Let's rewrite the narrative. We have Maxi Bustos talking about navigating a decentralized future. We have Azure Grimes talking about how to be an innovator. I will talk about creative solutions for the global good, bold thinking for career and service. And we have Chris Wells from England joining us to talk about the power of do-goodery. And you'll learn more about that term when you encounter him. As I see it, this is an opportunity for people from all languages who take part to be inspired to see possibilities for themselves. And we hope that the sessions you encounter in all of the languages will allow you to get excited about possibilities for your own future, not just for yourself, but how you can make a difference in the lives of others as well. Jose, thanks. I'll hand it back to you.
Well, that's. I think this is all. We ask you asked for a short presentation. We have already the short presentation. This is everything right now. I don't know. I would like to open the questions and answer section. So this is the eRYLA. This is what we have now. This is the edition this year. So any questions for any of us?
That will work. What I'll do is I'll ask all of you who have joined us for this recording to let me know in the chat if you have a question. And if it is written out, I will read it myself. If you just say, I have a question, then I will ask you to unmute and ask it. But I'll start with the first question for the 4 of you who have done all of this work the last few years to make this eRYLA happen. Is there a particular story from an attendee that stands out in your memory as something that really shows the power of eRYLA?
Well, in my case, I have a story. No, I have last year. I gave a talk, a conference on the stock market. No, and then one of the people who attended was a 15-year-old boy who is blind. He's the son of one of the Rotary members of Alcoy, and what. The boy, he was blind, so he asked in advance for all the material, and I was touched because he was very interested. He asked many questions, and this is the kind you saw that this person he had a disability, but because of his hunger to know things, and this young person, he's probably going to be much more successful in the future in than the rest of the people of his own age, no? Because the people of his own age probably was playing sport, was doing some other things, no? But he was there. He read a lot on the material I sent to him, because I don't even send him in advance my presentation. I also sent a course. I taught a course on stock market investment in the university in Spain, and I sent the material. It was a relatively advanced material. It was at college level. He was very he understood most of it, and this is the thing that motivates you, because you see these young people, these relatively young people with a disability, and who wants to learn, and who got stimulated by your eRYLA. This is something I like. I like it a lot.
Thank you, Jose.
The same thing for me. Sorry, I'm Marie-Laure from France. The same
Please
thing
do.
for me. Yeah, we have a lot of African because they speak French. So we have a lot of Africans well, watching the eRYLA, participating in the eRYLA, and the feedback is very good. They all want my email, and they chat with me on Facebook, on Messenger via my Eclub, and the feedback is very good. I also had a very good surprise last year because, as we told you, Holger Knack, the president of Rotary International, did participate and spent half an hour with us. And afterwards, he came to Paris because the Rotary in France is only 100 years old. We're younger than the United States, of course. So he came to Paris for a big celebration. And somebody introduced me to him, and he said, "Oh, you're the eRYLA girl." I said, "Yes, I am." So he went and found a scarf, and so he gave me the scarf, the official scarf of the president of Rotary International. I'm like, wow, wow. So that was a very good surprise.
If I just may add a German story, we had quite a few former Rotary exchange students participate in this second eRYLA seminar. For them, it was a great opportunity to get reconnected with Rotary. So the possibility with that was that also our clubs that actively and with some money supported the participation of the young people. They invited some of the young ones to their clubs to speak on their experiences. So that was also, from my point of view, a very nice experience resulting from the second eRYLA.
Martina, because you've been in several eRYLAs, did you have any experience?
I've been in all of them, yes. Yes, I actually wanted to tell a little story last year when I had changed club and I was already a member of the Eclub of Silicon Valley. I asked for the permit to use the logo, and I called up our president, Raquel, and she said, "Yeah, sure, go ahead. I was at the eRYLA last year." And I said, "Were you really? And which presentations did you see?" And she said, "I saw yours." So that was really funny because I saw how international we had already gone. And it was a very good experience. So yeah, I think we do touch people, and one gets feedback from the young people on a personal note that ask you for conversations, that ask you on a certain part of what you said. Why did you do it that way? How could I include it in my projects? I had something like that happening to me last year when I gave the mediation, the school mediation presentation. So I think it's wonderful to reach so many people. And what stands out for me, or what stood out for me last year, was our opening presentation, which was given by a Rotary Club of Tel Aviv, not the Rotary Club of Tel Aviv. It was one of the Tel Aviv clubs, and it was on a very big water project that they do, which really amazed me. And some of us said it afterwards that they were just fantastic, a really far-reaching project. So that's what I would like to comment.
I think you are speaking to something very important about this kind of event. When we think about a Rotary Youth Leadership Awards, we're talking about the power of service to inspire people to make amazing things happen in their communities, locally, globally, and digitally. And with regard to that, we had a really good question come in from one of our members, Vandana, in India, about leadership skills. So will this eRYLA develop skills to start their own businesses? Those who take part, will they have the chance in these strands to learn to start their own business? I know that in our strands, we will have some people talking about those ideas, but perhaps Gregor, Jose, and Marie-Lo, if you want to add a thought on that, feel free.
This is why we have a workshop for soft skills, because you need soft skills to start your new business. So yeah, so we will have that in all languages, I think. Even in English, I'm not sure.
Absolutely.
I think so.
Jose and Gregor, anything to add?
Yes, what I can add from the German point of view, as far as our part is concerned, we very much focus on the development of skills and of females in that environment. That's for this reason we have this topic, Female and Fierce, which is going to be presented by two ladies who are going to do that in an interactive way. Beyond that, we focus more on general knowledge, which we think is also important for being successful in the work market. Because today, and maybe we come to that later on, soft skills can be defined in a different way. And today there seems to be also a tendency that it's not only soft skills that play a role in order to be successful in the work environment. So that also inspired our approach for this seminar.
Yeah, same with the Spanish part. No, we are going to have the speakers. They are going to focus on labor market, on leadership, how to be leaders in the labor market. You compete with many other people, with many young people, and how to be leaders in this group. Not how to do better in the labor market, how to develop the soft skills needed to be a leader, how to adapt to the new economy, to the new technologies, how to do all the things you need to be successful in the labor market, and then to have a successful professional career.
Wonderful, Jose. Thank you very much. And to everyone who has joined us as a part of this recording, thank you for taking your time, either because you are with us right now as we record it, or you're watching the recording. We believe that so much about what Rotary does around the world can make you see the world in new ways, personally and professionally, and the eRYLA will be part of how that can be. So all of you who have joined us this week, as we wind down, let me give you a couple of quick reminders. One is that just a little farther down the page from where you see this embedded recording, you'll see our attendance form. We ask that you do so. Let us know that you are here. And if you are a Rotarian making up a miss at your own club, then by successfully typing your email address into the field, you'll get an automated return that you can pass along to your club secretary. A little farther down the page, you'll see our forum, the discuss section, and you'll see that people have left messages about this program and the different elements of our meeting. We hope that you will leave your comments as well, or respond to the comments of others. This is one of the ways that in an asynchronous online club, we're able to trade ideas and connect with each other across the time zones and across the continents. We will be doing this every week. You can come to rotary.cool every week to find the stories that we bring you. And we hope that in addition to finding more about our club and the clubs that have helped make eRYLA possible, which you can find links for slightly down the page, that you will pay attention to the possibilities of eRYLA, and that we will see you in early March. Thank you for joining this recording.